All right, y'all, this is Mo of Movacay coming back at you. Today we got 15 Carnival tips. Now, this can be tips for the new cruiser or someone that's been on a cruise just hasn't really been paying attention. All right, so we're gonna start with number one. Make sure you have a pre-hotel. Before your cruise, you want to be in that state of the cruise that it's sailing out. You don't want to be far. You want to have to drive far. You definitely don't want to have to fly, right? Because if anything happens with that car or that flight, the cruise is not waiting for you. So it makes more sense for you to have one night stay before, so that way you are secure and ready to go the next day. Tip number 2, the ship is cashless. So you're not gonna be walking around with cash, just in case you didn't know. It is your sail card, right? It is the way, it's like your debit card, right? It's everything that you're gonna be able to use to purchase drinks or souvenirs or anything like that. So you're not really gonna be walking around with cash. However, you do want to bring cash, right? You may want to tip people. You are gonna wanna use cash when you get off of the port, right? Or when you get off of the ship and you're going on port, right? You don't want to be using your credit cards and debit cards in different countries, even if you do have the foreign exchange rate, right? But you want to have cash so that way you can tip or buy souvenirs or anything like that. Tip number 3, documents. You need to have the proper documents to make sure that you can even get on the ship, right? So let's talk about it. You have your passport, right? Passport is probably the best situation, right? Because if anything happens when you're in port, you can also fly out with it. Most passports you need to have at least 6 months after your sailing date, right? Most countries require that as space. Second thing you can use would be a birth certificate. Now, this is not the birth certificate you got at the hospital. And this is a birth certificate from Vital Statistics, guys. You need to have the proper birth certificate. And on top of that birth certificate, you need to also have a photo ID. Government issued is probably the best. And I'm gonna put a little tip in there for you because this is 2024. You need the real ID now, right? By May 7, 2025, you need that real ID to even get on a flight. So make sure you have the right government issued as well for your photo ID. Tip number 4, your bag. Have your bags, your lanyards, and your water bottles. Okay, so what do I mean by that, right? You want bag tags, right? Yeah, you could staple the paper all together and everything and put it on your bag for the porters to take, but it gets ripped up easily. So sometimes it's cool to grab something like on Amazon, plastic, put it in, done. Nothing's gonna get ripped or anything like that as far as your bag tags. Then you also want to have a water bottle. Water bottle is a good hint to have. Why? Because some of the cups are so small. I'm going to be honest with you. They're so small. And you may want to sit out and lounge at the pool for a while. But guess what? You can go fill it up with water and ice, and that thing will stay chill no matter what kind of water bottle you have. Now, of course, your tumblers are going to do better. But guess what? You won't have to go back and forth filling it up, right? You'll be comfortable with just the water bottle. And the last thing, your lanyards. That is also like your safety net. Your lanyard can hold your sail card, right? Yeah, you can put it in your wallet, but there's gonna be a lot of moving around. So when you have the lanyard, it's around your neck. It's free to move. You can open the door. You can buy your drinks right there. You're not gonna lose it. You don't wanna lose it. It's like losing your debit card or your Amex. And somebody's gonna have fun with that if you lose it. So you definitely don't wanna lose that. Tip number 5, speaking of bags, right? So you have your normal, maybe you brought a rollie, right? Porters are gonna take that bag from you if you would like them to take it. So that way you are not lugging your check bag size onto the cruise ship, right? They're gonna port it. That means it's gonna get on the ship. It's gonna end up in front of your door when it gets on the ship. However, you need to have some type of carry-on. I don't necessarily mean your carry-on that you usually bring on an airline, right? But I mean a carry-on. It could be a book bag, it could be a crossbody, whatever the case may be. But there's certain things you want to make sure that are in there. The first thing is your boarding pass. If your boarding pass is not in there and it's in the other bag, you are not getting on the ship. And that is everything that you need. On top of that, you need those documents we just spoke about, right? You're going to need the passport and all of that to verify who you are with the boarding pass. So you have to have that too. Some other things that are helpful to have in there, medication, right? You don't know exactly when you're getting your other bag. So make sure that you have medication or any type of vitamins or things that you need in that bag ready to go, right? That can include inhaler or something like that, right? And also in that bag, you want anything that you are gonna want ready access to. If you feel like you're gonna wanna change clothes because you've been on moving all day and in the sun and in the light and you're going to want to change clothes, then put a pair of change of clothes in there. If you are the person that has to get in the pool as soon as you get on the ship, then have your bathing suit in there. But you want to have anything that's readily available, could be that water bottle again, for you to go, because you're not going to get that bag, that check bag, right away. All right. Now we're going to move on to tip 6, talking about packing. And we're not going to do a whole full thing on packing, but you want to have outfits. You want to have multiple pieces of clothing, right? Most people that are new, they tend to overpack, and you'll learn the first time. You'll say, okay, I don't need that next time, or I don't need this next time. But you want to be prepared your first time. I personally do like a 2 rule of thumb, 2 outfits a day. Now, I'm not big on always having to change, but I don't want to run out of clothes and not be able to change when I want to. So think of it this way. Think of you have an outfit for the day and you have an outfit for a night. So say you go to a port, you're off at the destination, you're walking around, you're seeing sights, you may be on an excursion, you are sweating through those clothes. And when you come back on the ship, you may want to refresh, right? You may want to put on a different outfit for dinner that night. You may want to change, you may want to go to the pool, right? So that already hits you on 2 outfits. Will that happen every day? No. Sometimes I've only worn 1 outfit and some days I've worn 3, but it kind of levels it out and balances it out if you kind of have the 2. You also want to make sure you have comfortable shoes, right? Sneakers usually are most of the best comfortable shoe and supportive shoes, right? You can have your sandals and stuff, but you may not want to walk around in Mexico in flats all day long. All right, let's talk about number 7. 7 is check-in. Check-in, please. Please check in. Don't forget to check in. Check-in usually opens up for Carnival about 2 weeks before you're sailing, right? 14 days. Now, and it'll happen like at midnight. Guess what? People are waiting to check in. And so if you want to get on the ship at a decent hour or earlier, you want to be there to check in. When you check in, you're going to be doing multiple things. You're going to be attesting to some questions. You're going to be filling out some information that have to do with your documents and things like that. And you're also going to be picking your boarding time in which you're going to get on the ship. So the people that go to do this earlier get the earlier time slots and they get to pick what they want. So the later you wait, the less you have choice for. And you don't want to do that when you're with a group, right? Because you can't check in for the whole group. Everyone has to check in and verify their information on their own or for their cabin. So if you all are in a family reunion and majority of you want to get on the ship at the same time, you all need to be checking in at the same time. If not, half of y'all are going to be going in and half of y'all are going to be staying out. So don't miss that. Tip number 8. Prepay for whatever you don't want to deal with when you get on the ship, right? There is flexibility for all these things that I'm going to name, but if you do not want to deal or you want more of an all-inclusive kind of feel, you want to take care of these things before you get on the ship, right? So like your gratuities, you can prepay for them. You can pay for them and get on the customer service line when you get on the ship. Your choice, right? Then you have specialty dining. Like if you want to experience that, I'm not saying you need to do all of them, but you may want to schedule it, know when you're going to go, right? Pay for it, be done with it. Wi-Fi, right? That's if you want to get on the internet, right? But guess what? Your phone, our lovely phones are not going to hold up old internet. You have to get the package if you really want to be on the internet to some degree, right? If not, you're going to have some roaming charges that we're going to talk about in a little bit. And then the photo packages, you can, your excursions, right? Because they will fill up. You want to do that in the spa, right? If you want to get a massage or a facial or something like that. These are all things you can prepay for in advance, guys. So that way you don't have to deal with it. 9, download the Carnival Hub app before you get on the ship. Do not wait until you get on the ship to download it. Why? Now you're surrounded by metal, especially if that ship starts moving, it's not going to download the way you want. We just spoke about Wi-Fi, right? So download that app before you get on the ship. That app is going to be world of knowledge for you. It's going to have all of the activities and where they're being held on the ship. You're going to be able to purchase other things, right? Like those photos and everything through the app, have it downloaded to your phone and be right there. You're going to be able to request dining and people and who you want to sit with for dinner. So you want to have the app. Last thing in that app, you also have the opportunity to buy a chat for $5. You don't need Wi-Fi. You don't need the Wi-Fi package for this. It's a chat that you pay $5 for. That way you can communicate with family members off of Wi-Fi and find each other. If you're trying to find your kid, or you're trying to find your husband, right? You can also message each other. Now, both of you have to pay your $5 per person, and then you guys can talk that way. It's very helpful, especially if you're working or moving with a big group. Tip number 10, the Cheers package. Everybody always wants to know about the Cheers package. It really just depends on you. You got to know you and what kind of drinker you really are. So the Cheers package already includes bubbles, which includes all your soda and all that other stuff, right? But it includes your alcoholic-based beverages. You can have up to 15 of these beverages a day, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it really just depends on you because you cannot, I repeat, you cannot use it off of the ship. This is only on the ship. So if you are getting off in the Bahamas, you're not going to, whatever drinks you buy there is on your own money and on your own dime. It's not going to count towards your package. And then you're going to be off the ship majority of the day and then come back and probably have a half a day to try to get some drinks in. So it really just depends on if you're tossing them back, how much you're drinking and all of that. Keep in mind, if you get the Cheers package as an adult and you have another adult in your cabin, they also have to get it no matter what. You're not changing, you're not sharing. They want to make sure that you're getting it. They also want to make sure that if you have a minor, that you're getting them the bubbles package if you're getting the unlimited package. So there are a couple of stipulations that you have to pay attention to when it comes to the Cheers package. I did the Cheers package once for a birthday. Never really did it again. I'm more of a lemonade type of person, and some of these things are already included, and so it didn't make sense for me to get an unlimited one. But to each their own. Number 11, elegant night. Okay, this is when people get all dapper and start to look all nice. Now, you'll see people all in ball gowns, and then some people just in regular dresses. Either one is perfectly fine. You'll usually see one, maybe two of these, depending upon the length of your cruise, right? What you do want to know about Elegant Night is this is two things. One, this is where you're going to see a lot more of the photographers out doing pictures with backdrops. Not that they're going to do it on other days, but you will see a lot more of them on those days. You want to keep in mind, it's okay if you don't want to participate. If you don't want to participate, however, some of the restaurants may have dressing code on Elegant Night, meaning you may not be able to show up to the specialty dining or the main dining hall in shorts, for example, on that type of night. You will still be able to go to the other places like the buffet and other places to eat, but just keep that in mind so that way you don't know that it's not Elegant Night and you're showing up and you wanted to go to a particular restaurant and you can't. But it's definitely a great thing to do at least once, but you do not have to do it all the time. Number 12, tell Carnival if you have someone you are traveling with has allergies, right? It just sounds simple enough, but tell them, right? Because especially when it comes to food, right? Because there's all these different type of restaurants. They want to make sure there's no cross-contamination. They want to make sure that everyone is safe. So plain and simple, just let them know. 13, put your phone on airplane mode, right? We are addicted to our phones. I get it. But once that ship starts moving, if your phone has anything called roaming, you're going to have a problem, right? And you're going to come back to a huge bill with all of these different roaming charges from all of these different places that don't even make sense to you. Trust me, it's happened to me, right? You want to put it on airplane mode, right? And I will give you another tidbit. You want to also maybe reach out to your cell phone provider. Figure out what coverage you have for when you get off, right? And you are on land or anything like that. But if you are on that ship, put your phone on airplane mode. Can't stress it enough. Number 14, get back on the ship on time, guys. On time, right? And I suggest if you're new, get back early. But this is what you want to know, right? So you have to work on ship time. They are going to provide a time that's based around you being on the ship. And it's always going to continue to move, right? But when we get off, there may be a time change in a different country. The island may go on island time. No. You stay on ship time, right? Sometimes even our watches, our phones, they may adjust correctly and then they may not, right? So you want to be mindful of that because you do not want to come back late because that ship is going to leave when that ship is going to leave. And so if you get left, you are now in the country and now you have to work with the embassy on how to get back home on your own dime. So can't stress it enough, but to be on time, don't fall asleep on the beach. You have seen everybody, people running. That's why they call them port runners, right? They're trying to get back to the cruise ship. Don't be a port runner. I'm trying to think, is there anything else you need to know about? No, just be on time. Be on time. Oh, sometimes that line coming back of people getting on the ship can be a lot. So the people that come back late, there tends to be a longer line. So you may want to prep for that. And 14, nope, I already did 14. 15, we are done. We are out of here. You guys have to have fun. Have fun on the ship, especially if it's your first time and you've never experienced it. There are so many things happening on the ship. Go to the entertainment, go to the nightly shows, the comedy shows, drop your kids off at Camp Ocean, drop them off with Carnival, right? Go to the spa, get a massage, right? Some things will repeat so you get to see them on different nights, but some things may not repeat. So do as much as you can. You may not see everything, but guess what? You need to have fun. Don't miss out on some of Carnival's biggest events, guys. I don't want you to miss it. So this was 15 tips just to help you guys out for your summer travels or even your fall travels with Carnival Cruise Lines. Be sure to stay tuned, subscribe, hit that button so you don't miss any more about Carnival or anything cruising with Movacay. Have a good one, y'all.